I'm Brian Van, sportbiketrackgear.com, and today we're going to do a tool review on the Motion Pro PBR Chain Tool. This is a press, brake, and rivet tool from Motion Pro, and I mean they have done a great job, very well executed with this tool. Comes in a nice carrying case, right, so you can keep this thing together and not lose the pieces. Fully illustrated with color photos, step by step, on how to break it, how to press the side plate, and how to rivet it. This also gives you the ability to rivet solid master links or master links that are dimpled on the end, and we'll show you what that looks like as we go through the process of using the tool. So, wide variety. Chain sizes. This is really meant for motorcyclists, right? Road bikes typically. 520, 525, and 530. And for us, any of the sport bike stuff, it really falls within there. So this is going to be a great versatile tool for you to use to do any of your chain kit installation. And this is the kind of thing you'll be able to keep this tool year after year, season after season, right? And keep servicing your own motorcycle. We're going to begin with actually breaking the chain. I want to show you the pieces that the tool comes with. This is one of the things that really impressed me right off the bat. To keep it simple, right? You see the B. B stands for brake. We want to break the chain now. So now you want that to be against the side of the block, like so. There's a spring-loaded ball in there that's going to hold this all in place when you slide it in. Look at that. What more can you ask for? So there is our chain breaker. To start off, you need to make sure that the anvil is about 3 to 4 millimeters inside of the rod, okay? The threaded rod. We're going to go ahead and take and attach the threaded handle to this. It's going to give us a little leverage. This is a stock 525 chain that I'm breaking on a 2015 R1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to line this up with one of the links on the chain, hand tight like so, okay? Give it a little snug here with a 17, and then we'll run this down. This is all lubricated right now, okay? It was brand new in the package, it comes lubricated. What I'm gonna tell you is, as the tool ages, make sure you're lubricating these threads and contact points each time you use it. It's gonna keep the tool lasting and working good throughout its life cycle. Now, we need to tighten down the anvil to break the first link of the chain. Hold the handle and tighten down. There will be some resistance. You'll actually hear it and feel it when it finally gives way. Actually, I didn't hear it, but you can feel very little resistance now. Back off the anvil. Can look in there now. You can clearly see how far back it pushed that. And it's not putting any stress on the chain at all, the way this is set up. This is a really well-designed tool. Now we need to break the other side. Once again, finger tight. You don't need to go crazy here, just snug it a little bit, run that down by hand. And you can feel it relax now as it pushes the pin through. Back that off. And you can see the plate slide off. There is the stock O-ring. Put the tool to the side. And now we're ready to pull the chain apart. You can see how clean of a job that did, right? Literally pushes the head off the rivet link, pushes it right through, and now we're able to remove our stock chain. Okay, now we're ready to slide the chain right on the motorcycle. One thing I'm going to do is just run down the nut here on the countershaft sprocket just a little bit, right? Just hand tight, and don't forget that. That's very important that you remember to get that tightened up all the way. See, I've got the chain prepared and ready to go. And what I'm going to do is start from the back and move to the front. The chain itself is pretty well cleaned off, okay? Before this motorcycle gets ridden, the chain's going to get lubed again. The real critical areas on an O-ring chain are going to be the O-rings being lubricated, and then all of the links, the pins through the chain, are lubricated internally. That's what really needs to be done. That's done at the factory when it's sealed, okay? Once the links are pressed on, there's no way to get any more grease inside of there. What it comes with internally, that's it. Okay, now let's have a look. Certainly we've got plenty of chain. Okay, so that's the good news. Now we need to decide what am I going to do in terms of axle length. Do I want to leave myself room to go with a bigger sprocket? Do I want to just continue to ride with what I have? You need to make those decisions before you cut your chain. You cut your chain, that's it. Chain is cut. There's no going back. Okay, you need another chain if you cut the chain too short. And what you can't do is you can't ride on a chain and then add links back to a chain, because as you ride on a chain, it begins to stretch. Any links that have not been ridden on will not be stretched, so you can end up with binding if you try to add to a chain. That's a very, very bad idea. Okay, I moved the chain adjusters around a little bit. I decided, you know, this is going to be the most logical point for me to break the chain. Okay, and as I said, you got to take some time. You really got to think about this, and I think this is going to be the best possible spot. It's going to keep me closest to where I was, which is where I want to be. So using the same chain breaker tool, snug that up. We've got our 14 here. Push that through. And then we need to go to the one just in front of it. God, this tool is phenomenal. This is probably one of the best chain tools I've ever used. Snug up the 17. Drive that through like so. And now we'll be ready to slide our master link through. Before I go ahead and put all the O-rings and everything in place, what I want to do is I just want to kind of get things sized up and make sure that I'm going in the direction that I intended. So we're going to slide it together like so. See how much slack we have in the chain. So if you look at it, I mean, that's got me really close to where I was, and this chain is not stretched at all yet. Okay, so I like the spot I picked. Go ahead and loosen this up a little bit now. And that'll allow us to get the chain put together. Okay, now we're ready to press the plate onto the rivet link all the way. Remember, I took the pliers, just a little bit of pressure to hold it in place using our PBR chain tool. You want to back off, right, the anvil, 3 to 4 millimeters inside the screw. I've done that. Now you want to take the block that is able to break, rivet, and press, and you want to rotate it until the P is in position. You'll see the block also slides over the set screw now, like so. Note there's a groove right here on this side of the chain tool. It's very important that the rivets that protrude out the back of the link ride in that groove, okay, and hold it properly. So first thing I'm going to do is slide it into position. I'm going to find those rivets, and now we'll start to thread this down so the block is in place. Get it right so it's just about there, and make sure you keep a good eye on everything, no binding. Everything's lined up nicely. Now, do not overpress this. If you overpress this, you will need another rivet link, okay? So very slow, very small movements. Watch its progress. It's coming through nicely. I'm actually going to just a little more here. I'm going to back it off. I feel like this side here could drop down just a little bit like that. Okay. And now we'll come back to it. Every chain manufacturer is going to have their own specification as to how far, right, you need to press this. What I've found more often than not is that you won't find this anywhere on the packaging. There's no instructions. You can Google it, you can look for it, or if you've done it enough, right, you can just basically do it by feel. Because as you see, nothing was included with this chain. So I'm going to run this down just a little bit more here. Back it off. And I want to take a look at it and see where we're at. Most important thing is no binding. You see all of the O-rings are intact. And that needs to go just a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and line this back up. What we see is a lot of riders, when they order a chain kit or a chain, they will actually order multiple rivet links. And I got to be honest with you, that is not a bad approach. Not by any stretch of the imagination, because doing so gives you that fail safe. They're just a few dollars. They're $5 to $7, right? Not a ton of money. But it gives you that fail safe that if you run into a jam, okay, that you have a backup link ready to go, so you're not sitting there with a motorcycle that you cannot ride. So I'm pretty close right now. Give it just a little bit more, but you can see the caution I'm using here. I mean, I'm in no hurry to get this done right now. And with this tool, you can keep moving the chain back and forth and see that it moves freely. We've got no binding. I like what I've got right there. I've got the plate pressed on. Take a good look at it. You'll see the O-rings are nice and even, right? Even on both sides. Now we're ready to rivet this thing down, stake it down. The type of rivet link that we have here, where you see the center is hollowed out, with the Motion Pro PBR tool, you'll be using this adapter. It will slide onto the end of the screw like so. You will rotate the plate until the R is present right here. Spring-loaded ball bearing is going to hold it in place. I'm going to back this off just a wee little bit. Take just a little bit of grease and put it on the head of that. Now, you'll see that there's a recess in the block. You'll line that up with the rivet on the back side of the plate. Thread this down, okay? Once again here, you don't want to overdo this either. There are specifications. Of course, they weren't included in the box, but you can find that stuff online. We're going to take our time with this just like we did pressing the plate into place. And you can actually see it starting to crush that down. So that one now is a little larger than the other side. And at the end of the day, the right way to do, the proper way, I don't say necessarily the right way, that would indicate I'm doing it the wrong ways, you'd use a measurement to see how far you've got it spread out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass back and forth a couple times and get that riveted down nicely. And then we will double check it, make sure both sides are nice and even, and that we have no binding with our chain. Okay, one way to measure this real quickly is I'm going to go to one of the factory riveted lengths. We're at about 6 millimeters. And the ones I did are the same. Pretty darn close. So that's one way too to tell, you know, do you have it compressed enough? At the end of the day, it doesn't take very much rolling over the edge to make sure that that can't pop off. And the key is this motion in the chain moving freely. This tool, I gotta tell you, is worth every penny. I think it's a great tool. It's one of the easiest ones I've ever used. Nice carrying case, comes with a replacement. And this is one of the things that gets broken quite a bit. One of the replacement anvils included. The rest of it's very robust. I doubt you'd have a problem with it. The key to a tool like this too is, remember, you gotta lubricate it. You can't just use it and abuse it, right? Every time you use this thing, use a little bit of lubrication just to ensure that the threads are moving freely and you're not going to damage it. This is the STG PBR Chain Tool review and rivet link install.